We drove, so we took Interstate 90 for 1,000 miles and over 2 days, and it was important to be here.
Looked on Facebook and found that he was actually doing this, and so I had to come back. So I drove in from Detroit yesterday.
It was one of the most anticipated total solar eclipse parties in Rochester, and it was nearly 50 years in the making. We told you about Patrick Moriarty, a retired Webster science teacher who planned to reunite with students he taught back in the 1970s and 80s for today's solar eclipse. News 10 NBC's Marcia Gustin went back to his home today for the big reunion and the big eclipse party he had with those former students. Marcia?
Oh yes, Brett. It started with an eclipse promise decades ago. Most of these former students were just 14 when Mr. Moriarty told them they would reunite in 2024. Now they are in their mid-50s.
When they were walking up, I could see their little ninth grade faces still.
Mr. Moriarty says he can't believe he pulled this off. Everyone showed up.
The eclipse was amazing. Of course, Rochester, we've had 2 days of sun, and it's back to gloomy. No glasses needed.
I met Andrea Rock and Kevin Thompson, former students of Mr. Moriarty's, a few weeks ago for the story I first did on plans for the reunion. Now it's happening, and Kevin says it's everything he heard it would be.
Mine is actually seeing the actual sun do its thing. Amazing. And not just that, how quiet everyone here became, how quiet everything around us, how dark it got so quick.
Mr. Moriarty explained to them in class years ago this would happen during the 2024 solar eclipse.
It was awesome. It was really interesting. Even to this day, Mr. Moriarty gave us a little earth science lesson.
It's the impact of teachers and what teachers can bring to a person's life. It became so clear to me, and it just crescendoed today to be what it was. It was overwhelming.
And memorable for Lori King.
It was wonderful. It was something I don't think I'd ever thought I would ever do.
For Kendra Denson, Suzanne Sirianni, and Jennifer Hempy, reuniting in 2024 seemed like the space age.
Like, okay, sure, whatever you say. We didn't believe him, but he followed through.
This one over here is my first best friend in my life, and I haven't seen her in years.
Oh, BFF.
And she poked me on the shoulder, and I was like, oh my God, it's Kendra Denson.
It's surreal, and I cried. I cried with just watching everybody.
James Cotton says the eclipse turned into a totally spiritual moment.
We could come from all different kinds of walks of life, all different kinds of views, and we're all in this together, and it was just peaceful.
Such a great event, Brett. So Mr. Moriarty says the next total solar eclipse in the U.S. will be on August 23rd, 2044. That's 20 years from now. I asked him, Brett, if there would be another reunion. He says, who knows? It depends on what being 88